In this video, I'm going to be showing you not one, but 12 different projects that you can make with your EasyPress Mini this holiday season. We are going to be using a whole pile of different types of vinyl, and we're going to put them on different surfaces. And our last project, we're not even going to be using vinyl at all. We'll be doing a fun project with our Cricut EasyPress Mini, so you're not going to want to miss that. If you're new here, welcome to Little Craft Nest. My name is Nisha. I'm so glad you've joined us. And if you're interested in crafting and Cricut tutorials, be sure to press the subscribe button so that you don't miss a video. Some of the projects I show you today, we're just going to go quickly through them, and others I will give you a little more detail, but all throughout this video I will be showing you lots of tips and tricks for applying heat transfer vinyl to a variety of surfaces. Our first project today is rather simple and so much fun. I don't know about you, but my kids just love Stuffies. They love getting them for their birthdays and for Christmas. And today I have this cute little shepherd here from Shepherd on the Search, and it's a similar idea to Elf on the Shelf. Parents hide the stuffy in the evening and kids find it in the morning. So my children have named our shepherd Jonathan, and every year Christmas rolls around, we forget his name. So we've decided to put his name on his belt. So if you have an elf on the shelf, you can do this to your elf as well, and you can apply the vinyl to whatever part of your elf that you'd like. So now we're not going to forget Jonathan's name, and I better go hide him so my kids find him in the morning. If you have an elf or a shepherd, let me know what your children have named your elves or shepherds down in the comments below. I also have this cute little mermaid here, and I'm just going to add this floral design to her fin. You can go ahead and add a child's name to whatever stuffy you want and give the perfect personalized gift that you can stuff into any stocking. For these flowers, I'm using glitter heat transfer vinyl, and it just looks so great on this little mermaid. For our second project, we are going to be making these cute little Tic Tac Toe games on these little jute bags with these little drawstrings. But before we get started, I'm going to show you exactly how I made the Tic Tac Toe game in Design Space. It's rather simple, so you don't need to go out and buy an SVG for this. You can make it yourself just using shapes. So let's head over to Design Space and I'll show you how I made the design for this cute little bag. To make our Tic Tac Toe game, we're going to go into Design Space, and the first thing we're going to do is insert a shape. And we are going to grab the square with the pointed edges here. And I've measured my little drawstring bag, and it's 3.5 inches wide. So I'm going to make this square into a 3.5 inch square, and we're going to use this as our template. And I'm going to just make this a lighter color so it's easier to see our design on top. Now to make our Tic Tac Toe design, we are going to grab the square, once again, the same one, and we're going to drag it over here, and we're going to unlock the corner at the bottom left. Now we want to make this into a skinny little rectangle, and since our square is 3.5 inches, we are going to make our rectangle 3 inches in height. And then I'm going to make the width of it 0.097 inches. And now we have a nice skinny rectangle here, and it looks like it will fit perfectly onto our bag. Now we're just going to duplicate this rectangle 3 times, so go up to the top right and press duplicate. Now I'm going to select 2 of the rectangles, so I'm just going to highlight 2 of them, and we have 2 of them here, and we want to rotate these. So go over to the top where it says rotate and just type in 90 and then press enter. Now I'm just going to zoom in here so we can see it a little better. And I like using my grid lines here to line things up. So let's move these ones aside. And I'm going to do these 2 lines about 1 inch apart. I'm just lining my line up here at the 8-inch mark, and then I'm going to line my second line up at the 9-inch mark. And then I'm going to grab my horizontal lines and do the same. So right here, I'm lining it up at the 4-inch mark, and then I'm going to grab my second line and line that up at the 5-inch mark. Now to make sure they're perfectly straight, I'm first going to select my 2 vertical lines here, and I'm going to go up to the top and press align, and then I'm going center vertically. Now I'm going to click on the screen to deselect those 2 lines, and now I'm going to pick my 2 horizontal lines. So we're going to select both of those, and go to the top and press align, and this time we're going center horizontally. And now that these two are centered, I'm going to keep them selected and go down to the bottom right and press attach. And I'm also going to go back and select my two vertical lines again, and I'm going to attach those as well. Now I'm going to select all my lines together, and I'm going to go back up to align once again, and we're going to go right down to the bottom and click center. Now everything is in the proper proportion, and what we want to do now is weld this whole image together. So I'm going to go to the bottom right and press weld. If you didn't weld this image, you would see the cut lines through your design, and we don't want to see any cut lines through it. We want this as one solid image. So there is our Tic Tac Toe game, and if we drag it onto our template here, it looks great. Now we can also put something on the back side of our little bags. You could write some text, maybe Merry Christmas, but I want to insert a Christmas tree, and I have uploaded a whole pile of Christmas trees. So let's go over to upload, and I'm going to press view all, and I'm just going to type in tree. I've recently uploaded a bunch of these trees from design bundles. If you don't know how to upload designs to Design Space, you can check out my video on that. I'll leave that down below in the description. You can also select trees from Cricut Design Space as well, whatever you want to put on your little bag. So let's pick a fun one here. I like this one. And press add to canvas at the bottom right. Now this tree is rather huge, so let's go up to the top and shrink this down to 3 inches. That is still too big, so I actually need to do 3 inches in height, not 3 inches in width. So let's change that. And if we were to move our little tic-tac-toe, let's put this tree on top to see what it looks like. And that looks pretty good. If you want, you can stretch it a little bigger or make it whatever size you want. And now we can go ahead and get rid of our template because we don't need that. And you can decide what color of vinyl you want to cut these out on. If you want, you can go to the top and change colors up here, but you don't have to because it doesn't really matter what color you put on the mat. I think I'm going to do my tree in green, and maybe we'll do the tic-tac-toe in a red. I actually want to make 2 bags, so I'm just going to duplicate both my images. So I'm going to select them both, go up to the top right and press duplicate. And now I can go over to make it. Now my tic-tac-toes are very close together here, so I'm just going to separate them a little bit so I can cut in between them. And my trees down here, let's check those out. I'm going to also just move one over as well. And then I can press continue. I'm going to go over to browse materials because I think I want to do some glitter heat transfer vinyl for this project. So I'll type in glitter, and then I'm going to select glitter iron on. Done. And now I can load my mats and get that cut out. So remember, when placing your iron on vinyl down, you want to put that shiny side facing down. So we're going to smooth that out on the mat. Now my mat is losing some of its stickiness. I think I need to clean this mat. And so if you're worried that it's not going to stay on your mat, you can always just grab some masking tape. And what I like to do is just tape down the sides or the corners so it stays on your mat. But if you have a newer mat, this shouldn't be a problem. When weeding out vinyl, I like to use an overhead light. I usually use a ring light when I'm weeding, and especially for glitter vinyl because those lines can be hard to see. Before you apply vinyl to any surface, it's always a great idea to have a lint roller on hand. That's going to help you remove any dirt or loose fibers that are on your material. You're also going to want to preheat your surface for a few seconds before you apply your vinyl as well. Before you press any design onto any material, it's always a great idea to check out Cricut's heat press guide. It will tell you what to set your heat press at, as well as the times and how much strength you need to apply your design. I'll be leaving a link down below in the description so you can check out Cricut's heat guide whenever you want to. You may also want to bookmark the site so you can find it quickly when you need it. For this project, we're going to be setting our Cricut EasyPress Mini to medium, and we're going to press firmly for 30 seconds. You'll notice with some material that your heat transfer vinyl will stick pretty much right away, and others is going to take quite a bit more pressure and quite a bit more time. So if you're peeling up your carrying sheet and you realize that your vinyl hasn't adhered properly to your surface, just put it back down again and apply some more heat and maybe some more pressure. And we're going to be doing that to both sides as we are putting an image on both sides of this little bag. These little bags are looking so cute. Now we just need some pieces to be able to play Tic Tac Toe. I thought chocolate kisses would do the trick here. It's the perfect little snack and the perfect size for a game piece. Now you have a cute little treat that you can hand out or even use as a place setting at your Christmas meal. Now, who doesn't like new socks for Christmas? Socks are so much fun to do with heat transfer vinyl. You can personalize them however you want. They can be silly or funny, and they make a great stocking stuffer. I've made piles of these socks. I've made them for myself, I've made them for teachers, I've made them for family members, and they are always a hit. Let me know what sock saying you'd like to see at the bottom of your socks. For project number 4, we are going to be doing a cute baby shirt. They're one of my favorite things to make because they're just so cute. For this project, I am making a cute little snowman face. You could even design this image yourself if you want to, using shapes from Design Space. I'm doing 2 layers for this project as I'm putting orange over top of the black. So one thing you want to remember is when you are layering, you don't need to press the first layer for the full length of time. I usually do about half the length of time because you don't want that bottom layer heating up too much and then bubbling or overheating on you. When you apply your final layer of vinyl, that's when you can press for the full length of time. Also make sure when you're applying a variety of different layers, you want to use parchment paper in between your mini press and the design so that you're protecting your EasyPress Mini and you're not getting any vinyl stuck to the bottom of it. This just turned out so cute. Now I have to go find a baby who can dress up as a little snowman for me. For our 5th project, I thought it would be fun to make these little red plaid mittens look even more Canadian than they already look. So I'm just going to embellish them a little with the word Canada and a maple leaf. These look so cozy and they make the perfect stocking stuffer. You can even stuff some little mitten warmers inside. For project number 6, we're going to be using glitter heat transfer vinyl again, but this time we are going to be pressing it onto felt. I found this felt wine bag at the dollar store and I thought it would be so much fun to personalize it. I typed out the words "Good Tidings of Comfort and Joy" in Design Space and added some holly and leaves. This would make such a lovely hostess gift or even just a perfect gift to bring to a neighbor. For project number 7, we are doing a tea towel. I love this design and it's sure to get a chuckle as people gather in your kitchen this holiday season. You can make your tea towels as fun, silly, or beautiful as you want. I got this design from Design Bundles, and if you're interested in it, I'll leave the link down below in the description. For project number 8, we're also sticking with the Christmas kitchen theme. This time we are going to do oven mitts. The oven mitts already had this cute plaid polar bear on it, very Canadian, and I added some text to spice it up just a little. Inside this oven mitt, I'm going to add some cookie mix and a whisk that I filled with some Lindor chocolates, and then I'll pop in a candy cane as well. This makes a great hostess gift or even a gift for your child's teacher. And now for project number 9, we are going to be doing another baby item. This time we're going to be doing this cute little hat. Now this material is super stretchy, so you don't want to use regular iron-on vinyl on here. You're going to want to use stretch heat transfer vinyl, as this will stretch with your fabric. I randomly placed these snowflakes on this cute little hat and press them down and then flip the hat over and press the rest of them on. You can see how when I stretch this hat, the vinyl stretches with it, which is great for a growing baby's head. If you haven't tried Stretch HTV yet, I highly recommend it. Well, I can't do a Christmas craft video without doing a Christmas ornament. So for project number 10, we are doing a wood slice ornament. I painted the ornament black and then I let it dry and cut out a simple design in Design Space with my Cricut Maker. Yes, you absolutely can use regular vinyl for this project, and regular vinyl is actually cheaper. But I wanted to show you that it was possible to put heat transfer vinyl onto a wood painted surface. I found that the heat transfer vinyl pressed onto the wood very easily and left a flat, smooth finish. I love making Christmas ornaments because they can just be a gift in of themselves, or you can even use them as a present topper, you can use them as a place setting at a table, and of course, put them on your own Christmas tree. For project number 11, I decided to make a little sign for a hot chocolate bar. I just love hot chocolate and I thought this would be a lot of fun. I used the reverse canvas method for this project, and if you're looking for an in-depth tutorial on how to make a reverse canvas, I have done a video on that, which I'll link down below in the description. I originally stained the frame, but I didn't like it, and I wanted the frame to be a chocolate brown color, but I didn't have any brown paint, so I improvised a little. I added some gold paint with a little bit of red and some black. I also added some polyacrylic and some gold glitter. I mixed that up and came out with the perfect chocolate brown color. For this project, I layered both regular vinyl and glitter vinyl together. Keep in mind when you're layering with glitter vinyl, you don't want to put regular vinyl on top of the glitter vinyl because otherwise you're going to see bumps underneath. But it's totally okay to put the glitter vinyl on top of regular vinyl. I glued my canvas back onto the frame using hot glue, and then I trimmed off the excess canvas. And here's the completed look. I just love how this sign turned out, and I just love how my glitter HDV actually matches my glitter frame. We have now made it to project number 12, and if you're still watching, please hit that like button. You're probably wondering what we are doing because for this project, we are not using heat transfer vinyl. Instead, we're actually going to be using tissue paper. And here's a cute sign that we are making. So let's head over to Design Space and I'm going to show you how I printed on tissue paper and how I applied it to this sign. Now, before you begin, you're going to have to upload a piece of sheet music from Google Images and save it as a print then cut image. And I've already done that, so I'm just going to go over to upload, and here's my sheet music that I saved to Design Space, and I'm going to click on that and add to Canvas. So here is my music sheet. And I want to make sure everything is the right size for the little sign we're making. I'm going to insert a square here and just grab that. And I'm going to resize it to the size of our bars on our little sign. And so I've measured that, and it's 5.4 inches in length. And the height is 1.25. So just change the dimensions at the top. Now we have 4 bars, so I'm just going to duplicate our square here a few times. So here are our 4 bars. Now we want to size our music so it fits on here. So right now you can see I don't quite have the bottom notes covered up. They would be cut off. And so I'm just going to shrink down our music sheet a bit, but not too much. And now my bar is covering most of it. Let's see if we shrink it down just slightly more. And that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to drag my other shapes over top of each bar here. And they don't all quite fit perfectly, but that's okay. I am not looking for perfection with this. I just really want the music notes to be on the sign. But I do want to make sure everything's lined up. So I'm going to select all 4 of my rectangles here. And then I'm going to go over to the top and press align, and I'm going to center those horizontally. Now what I want to do is slice each rectangle out of this music sheet, but since you can only slice 2 layers at a time, what I'm going to do is keep these 4 bars selected, and I'm just going to weld those together. And now I only have 2 layers. So I'm going to select both my layers now and go to the bottom and press slice. Now we can separate our sliced layers here. And we got our extra song sheet piece here. So we no longer need these 2 layers here, so we can get rid of those. And what we're left with are our 4 lines of music. Now I'm not going to have my Cricut Maker cut around the image because I feel like it's going to rip the tissue paper. So I'm actually going to cut this by hand after we've printed it. Since I'm cutting this out by hand, it's going to be hard to know where to cut as our background is white as well. So what I'm going to do so I know where to cut is insert another shape. I'm going to grab the square again and I'm going to unlock it and make it just a little bit bigger than our image here. And then I'm going to send it to the back. So arrange, send to back. And then I'm just going to line it up. And then I'm going to make our black square here. We're going to change the operation of this because right now it's a cut image. So we're going to go over to operation and press print, then cut right underneath and click standard. And you can see in the layers column here, both our layers here are now print, then cut. Now I want these to print exactly like this, and so I'm going to select both my layers again. We're going to go over to the bottom right and we're going to attach them together. Now when my printer prints this out, I'll have this nice dark background, so I know exactly where to cut with my scissors. So now I'm going to press make it and then press continue, and we're going to send this to the printer. I'm going to turn my bleed off for this because we don't need that. And I'm also going to open up my system dialog box so I can get a better printing quality. And then we can press print. Now our system dialog box is usually hiding behind design space here. So I'm just going to move this out of the way, and there's my dialog box hiding over here. And right now the quality is set to normal. We're just going to change that to best. And I don't want this to be a colored image either. I'm going to change this to black and white. And it looks like the quality changed to normal again, so I'm going to move that back over to best. Then we need to get our tissue paper ready for the printer. So here is our tissue paper. And I'm just going to get a piece of copy paper and set it on top so I know where to cut. And I'm going to use my rotary knife just to cut it. So here I now have my copy paper and my tissue paper. And now I'm just going to take this glue runner here and I'm just going to put it on the edges. You don't want to put it all over because you don't want to get glue on the tissue paper that you're actually cutting out. So we're just going to put it all down the sides here. And we're going to get our piece of tissue paper that we cut out and we're just going to place it on top. Try not to get too many wrinkles in it. We want this to be pretty smooth. And then you can take a pair of scissors and just get rid of any of the extra that's hanging over because you don't want this to get caught up in your printer. And once you're ready, you can put it in your printer. Make sure you're putting it on the right side so that it's printing on the tissue paper and not on the paper itself. And then we're going to press print and have our printer print this out. Now here's our tissue paper. It has been printed out and you can see it here. And now we need to cut around our music lines here. So I'm just going to use a ruler and use my rotary knife just to cut around each of our white squares here. And here is our first piece here. Now I do have a bit of black still on there, so I may go over that again just to make sure I don't have any black edges on it. Now you could also use scissors to do this. You don't have to use a rotary knife, whatever you feel more comfortable using. And here are our 4 pieces ready to put on our wood sign. This is what our sign looked like before, and I took it outside and I spray painted it. I actually wanted to use brush paint, but I was out of regular white chalk paint, so I used white Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the spray paint version. So before we add these sheets of music to our sign, what we're going to do is put a layer of Mod Podge on it. So I'm going to use Mod Podge in a matte finish so we don't get that shiny glare on it. I'm just going to put a thin thin coat of this on the wood, and then I'm going to let it completely dry. If we were to add our tissue paper right on top of the Mod Podge while it was still wet, we get a lot of bumps in our tissue paper, and I don't want that, and so that's why we're going to let it dry first, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do. The Mod Podge has completely dried on our wood surface here, so I'm going to turn on my heat press, and I'm just going to keep it on low, so we're only going to press the button once, and I'll let that warm up. Now I can apply our sheet music to our wood base. Just make sure you put them on the right order because you want the song lyrics to make a little bit of sense. So we got Joy to the World right here, and we're just going to line them up all here and try to put them on as straight as possible. My EasyPress Mini is warmed up, and I have some parchment paper I'm just going to place on top, and I'm going to try not to move those tissue paper pieces and try to keep them in the same spot. What's great about parchment paper is you can see right through it, so you can make sure everything is in the right place. Now I'm going to grab my mini press, and we're just going to go over top until everything adheres to our wood surface. Now by doing this, we are activating our Mod Podge, and it is warming up again, but this time we are smoothing all that glue out. So we're not going to have any bumps underneath our tissue paper, and it'll look nice and smooth. So after about 10 seconds or so, just remove your parchment paper and check to see if it's on there good. If it's not, you can go over it again, but it should be pretty good. And it looks like mine has stuck down rather well. There's just a little spot here that I'm going to go over, and then that should be good. So I'm going to go over it one more time here. And that looks pretty good to me. Now I want to add a bit of a distressed look to this. So here's the paint here that I'm going to be using to give it a bit of a distressed look on the edges. So I'm just painting around the edges here just to give it a rustic feel, and when this dries, we're just going to sand it just a little bit. Our little sign is completely dry now, and now it's time to add some embellishments. At first I thought of adding some floral on the top, and then I thought, why don't we use the wreath that we made in my last video? And if you missed that last video, it is filled with all sorts of ornaments that you can make with your kids this holiday season. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. I'll leave a link down below in the description. So here is our cute little wreath, and I have a bit of pipe cleaner here sticking out of the back. So I thought I would just glue it on the top here, and we can add this nice decorative detail. I also picked up some little angel cutouts from the dollar store, so I thought I'd add one of those as well. So I'm just going to use the hot glue and apply these little embellishments. And there's our cute little sign ready to be displayed. Let me know what you think of this project. I hope you enjoyed these 12 projects that you can make with your Cricut EasyPress Mini. Let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite, and I hope to see you on more crafting adventures. Merry Christmas.